Alrighty. We are in the saddle. Hopefully, the stream is up and running. If it's not, then I suck, and that's okay. To the possibly one person that's wondering why I'm doing this on YouTube and not Twitch, where Twitch is where I used to stream a lot. Twitch has just been going downhill, and while I considered streaming on it, I also wanted to stream on YouTube because then I can utilize how YouTube kind of doubles as a recording platform, and while the footage wouldn't be the highest quality, I do want the capability of retrieving that footage at any time instead of needing to go and get it. Or like instead of needing to download a massive like file just for it to because it would disappear otherwise. Just a forewarning, I'm going to try my best to find ways to monitor chat. I'm working with one monitor, so I'm either going to have to keep alt tabbing or I'm going to have to keep this pulled up on my phone just so that way I can see it. I also so the plan for today, if anybody's watching this after this goes live some reason, if anybody's watching this, then the plan is I just have some stuff, some kind of busy work that I'm trying to get done in Destiny, and so I figured I would go ahead and trying to think of the best way to put it. I'm sorry, I'm multitasking. The best way to put it would be I've been wanting to, I should say, to, for some time, go on to a streaming platform and just, right now, as far as I can see, there is a lot of people in the Destiny community who will live stream gameplay by day, make a guide video by night, and while those are nice, it's really hard to get explicit questions answered from those people. And obviously, a lot of them, when you go in on stream, they might not have the perfect answer because, to be honest, when you're a streamer, and a big one at that, like what most people would find, it can be hard to get around to everybody's questions. And so, because it can be hard to get around to everybody's questions, a lot of people are left with more questions than answers sometimes after somebody else's question. And so really, I guess what I'm beating around the bush here towards is I want to create an environment while this channel literally has no activity on it that somebody can come in and be like, literally, you could be just playing this game for the first time and maybe this somehow came up while you were scrolling through Destiny 2 guide or Destiny 2 for new players. And if that was the case, then, you know, God damn it, dude. I just got a text message that totally wiped what I was thinking of. Dude, I really do need to get like a script or something whenever I do this shit. Anyways, yeah, I'm trying to create an environment for people to ask questions, even if they're like they think they're stupid questions, because I won't treat any question as a stupid question. Why would you take my advice over some other guy on YouTube? Well, I could say that you don't have to take my advice, but if it helps, I have over 3,000 hours in this game logged on Steam. And when I pair that with Charlemagne's active game time and activity hour checking, it comes out to be roughly 2,900 hours in game and in activity. So I guess you could say that after playing this game for almost its entire lifespan from D1 to D2, I've picked up quite a lot, and I just wish to find a way to share the knowledge with everybody and try to create a positive environment where a learning experience can occur for everyone. So to start with, because I only want to do this for an hour today, just at most an hour, and it might be less. My plan is to kind of just go over some things, and I'll do the busy work stuff I'll talk about later, because these text messages are telling me that I'll have things I need to do, so I will have to go do that. But first, I don't want to just sit down, start a stream, and then dip and look like a dumbass. So I want to go over a few basic things, and I'll probably take this live stream, chop clips of it that are pieces that are not me rambling like I am now, and then I'm gonna try to maybe I'm gonna splice them together into a more consolidated video. That video might be a mess, but at least you don't have to sit through a 45-minute ramble. So I want to start with a few things that people might be wondering. So to me, something that at least whenever I play an RPG game, I open up my inventory, and whenever I see indicators, I have questions and I need answers, right? So the number one thing that people are going to be like is, so I want to cover first. The number one thing I want to cover first is power. What exactly is it, and why is it whenever I hover over it, I see gear and bonus? So right now, this character, my hunter, is 1825, and that is because my gear, so when I don't know what the exact math is that they use, but I believe it's an average. Your character's power is an average between all the equipment pieces you have on. Each piece of equipment that your guardian wears has a power level, and that is that big number below the name, right? This weapon's power is 1810, all right? And so because all of my gear that I have on is 1810, thus the average is 1810. Now Andrew, why on God's green earth do I have a plus 15 next to that number? So in Destiny 2, as a live service game, a way to keep players engaged and so on is whenever a new season comes out, and the current season can be seen under this tab, right? We're in Season of the Deep with 45 days left. Whenever a new season comes out, you will receive a new seasonal artifact, and that is what this item is down here. If you do not have this item, I highly recommend that this is the first thing you pick up, because this is very crucial to your end game success, and it can help you because this is what provides the power bonus, right? From the moment that the season comes out, this item will accumulate levels in two different ways. One way is that you unlock artifact perks. That is what these are. The second way that it helps you is if you look at this outer diamond, that displays as a status bar for how much XP you need till the artifact gives you another power bonus. I do not know what the cap is. Beforehand, I would always say it was uncapped, but I want to say it might cap at 30, but I'm not sure. And I will tell you right now that getting past 20 takes a lot of hours. It takes millions of XP to get past level 20 because the XP requirement scales pretty exponentially past 20. So like if I were to go into my collections and I look at my previous seasonal artifacts from seasons that I actually played a crap ton of, you'll see that it stoops off at around 19 or 20. That is wrong. That is, I played it during the season. It's just glitch. You can see it's even showing my ghost shell instead of the artifact. But, right, that one I did not play much of. This one neither. But 17. This one I actually made it to 20 because this one was a 6-month-long season. 23, this was another season that was longer, and I was hard grinding a lot more because there's a lot more that I needed to do during this season than this one. 19, this one I believe was like 18, 19, 19, 22 because this was at the launch of a DLC, so I was putting in extra hours. So the point is, as you can see, once we get towards 20, it stoops off pretty hard. But getting up to 20, getting at least up to 10 doesn't take too long. The average person could get 10 points during a season. And then getting past 10 is usually where most of the hard grinders will go, like myself. So that's an explanation of what power, that's a short of what power is in terms of like what this display is. So how do you raise your power? So raising your power, it's you could see 1,000 videos on this. YouTubers like Datto, I know I'm pretty sure every year he will put up a new video that explains how to best farm for power levels in Destiny 2 at the time of release. So, and my advice is going to be generally the same as his. His might just be better structure, so I'll give you the short term of how it works. So in Destiny 2, when you complete an activity, or even by random chance upon killing an enemy, you can have equipment drop, right? It'll be a little engram on the ground. It'll usually be a rare item. It'll be blue, right? You'll get something, I don't know, like this, like a good old blue gun, right? This will slam down onto the ground, and you pick it up. From power level, as of the making of this live stream, and to the people who are watching this video, as of the making of this gun, the base power level, right, the floor, where anybody starts, level 0 is 1,600. I'm not going to get super deep into why level 0 equates to 1,600, but it mainly has to do with the fact that this game is very old and the way that it is handled. So basically, when you start and you see 1,600, you are equivalent to level 0. Any gear that drops will always be higher than whatever this number is. All right? Now, that does not mean, and this applies for any point in your power grind, that does not mean that the item that drops will be higher than what you have in the slot. My average could be 1806, and this item right here could be 1808, and then I get another 1808 because that's higher than what this number is. So that's something to keep in mind. So how do you raise it? So you get drops, right? If you want to level fast, you're going to have to kind of man up, and if you don't like a gun, you're going to have to deal with it till you get a replacement, because you need to be constantly strapping on whatever your highest level gear is until you get up to 1750. You can start being slightly more selective at 1750, because at 1750, the power grinding will change from anything raises your level to only certain sources raise your level. Now, while admittedly most of these sources are time gated, where once it drops, you have to wait till a Tuesday for it to become available again. There is a particular source that is kind of like infinite powerfuls, which is in the form of prime engrams. That is what these are. So there's two ways to get powerful drops, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is because once you get to 1750, power levels 1750 to 1800 will no longer raise by every weapon drop. Instead, it has to come from an activity that is labeled as a powerful gear tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3. Those items will raise your power past 1750, right? The other way is these prime engrams, right? These, whenever you become 1750, these will start dropping more often. And as soon as you get one of these, I highly recommend that you go to the tower and decrypt it once your activity finishes, because these engrams will not scale with your power. So if you get a powerful drops, and because you forget about your prime engrams, you might have a few prime engrams where you'll have 1801, 180, or sorry, that's not the right numbers you'd be looking at. Maybe like 1755, 1756, 1758, right? And if your average right now is 1757, then that means that this 1755 that you got, or whatever that you had, that low one, that thing's gonna be junk. That's gonna be your nice 200 glimmer and 3 legendary shards. Goodbye, never to see it again, right? So you need to make sure that you're decrypting these in a timely manner. Also, they recently changed it to where, like in Vanguard Ops, this challenge right here, for any returning players, and this 3 Gambit matches, and the 3 Crucible matches, those are now powerful exotic engrams. Alright? So you will now be able to get an exotic from completing these challenges, and it will be a powerful drop. So there are other sources. If you own the latest DLC, getting rep with Nimbus, completing this gives you a pinnacle, which if you were to claim a pinnacle while you are in the 1750 range, that will be like that can be upwards of like a plus 10 bonus on top of whatever your current average is. A pinnacle at this state in the game will simply crank your level way higher than what you currently are. So basically, you got to be just playing the game until you'll get prime engrams over time. I promise. They're fairly common to drop, as common as things can be in this game, which is a whole other joke of a topic. But really, you just need to keep playing. You'll get prime engrams. You'll raise your level. Do activities that claim to give powerful drops via challenges like this, and you will make it up to 1800. Now at 1800, for the average casual player, 1800 you can stop power grinding at. There is no reason to do the last 10 levels unless you plan on doing the most in-game of the in-game activities. Alright, otherwise 1800, you are good to go. Like if you look at the most recent raid, this bad boy is only 1770 recommended. And while it is 1770 recommended, the final boss, the enemies that it spawns and the boss itself is a 1800 boss. So if you make it up to 1800, you are on level with this guy and he won't be that bad. So yeah, 1800, you can do pretty much everything. Now, there is a few things, there's 2 big things that you can't do at 1800. The first one is you're going to be put up against you're going to be minus 40 in a Grandmaster Nightfall. And in a Master Nightfall, you are going to be still 40 under. Actually, is this 50? I might be wrong. Hold on. This is 50 under? No, okay, they're both 40. So, yeah. The Masters and Grandmasters, there is a major difference, but yeah, the power-wise, you're going to be 40 levels under. Now, I will say that for Master and Grandmaster, your effective power, like my level, whenever I enter these, is going to be 1815, not 1825. The reason why is that's Bungie's way of keeping these activities still difficult, because if you could grind, like for example, right, like you look at this 1830 mission, it still locks you to maximum effectiveness of 1815, because otherwise, like if I were to just get 5 more artifact levels, I could steamroll this place, right? Like for me personally, I know I could destroy this Nightfall, and at that point its rewards that it gives are not balanced for its difficulty in Bungie's eyes. And so that's their way of capping. Now, notice though how it's 15. So at 1815, right, if that's the maximum effectiveness, 1800 is fine if you're willing to get this artifact to a plus 15 bonus. But just know that I've been putting in probably an average of 3 hours a day minimum on this game for this entire season. And this season was like around 100 days long. So we're like 60-ish days deep or something, and I'm plus 15. So, and as you can see, the current level requirement is 1.5 million XP, which is a lot. So, do bear that in mind. So, anyways, back around to what I was saying. The reason why it is people would go up all the way to Pinnacle, 1810, that is the maximum you can go as of this season. The reason why it is that you would go up to that highest point is because of these things called master raids. Hold on, that's not the, let me go to this one. There. So master raid, which is an 1840 raid, right? This thing, these are brutal if you are under leveled. You should not be going in here under leveled. These raids are for the super elitists, right? And I'm not going to say that I'm not trying to be a gatekeeper, but I am just saying that the whole point of these raids is supposed to be for the crazy, challenge hungry people who are looking for the absolute pinnacle of loot and the pinnacle of challenge that this game has to offer. So if you're looking at doing those, or you want to be on that 1815 point for a Grandmaster Nightfall, which is the hardest Nightfall type in the game, then you are going to want to get that number to 1815 via a combination of pinnacles and the artifact. All right. Now I want to go ahead and summarize here with the following. So first, so this is going to be applying, right? The numbers I'm about to give you applies to any given point in this game. The first 150 levels will all, like at any point, so whenever a new DLC comes out, the floor, aka level 0, will become a new number, right? And everybody will be put on that number. So like when Lightfall came out, everybody became power level 1600, and 1600 was level 0. So the first 150 levels of the grind, because it'll always be this like bracket of number, the first 150 levels or so of the grind will be anything that drops will raise your level. The next 50 levels to get to 200 above the floor will be powerful drops and prime engrams and pinnacles. That's the only thing that can raise you past that initial 150 mark. At that point, you are set to do pretty much anything in the game. Okay? At that point, I would be willing to tell the average player, you have made it to the top of the mountain and you are done. However, for the hardcore players who want one last peak to climb, the pinnacle drop only is the last 10 levels. There is a extra 10 levels, right? Like right now it's 1800 to 1810. Those are pinnacle reward sources only. Prime engrams will only drop at that point. Prime engrams and powerful gear will only drop at the average of whatever your current power is. So if your average is 1806, you will be getting 1806 prime engrams and 1806 powerful exotics. Pinnacles, however, will go above your average by about 2 to 3 points. And so you need to hit these limited pinnacle sources every week to take advantage, like this: pinnacle source here, pinnacle source here, pinnacle source here. Right, there's a good number of them, but you do need to be hitting the pinnacle sources every week, because obviously whatever you don't get, it's not like it carries over as 2 more drops in the next week. And also because those last 10 levels can be grueling, because if you could have like an 1805, an 1807, and like 1804 and everything else, and if you get a pinnacle drop in this slot where you had the 1807, you will have unfortunately lost the pinnacle. Like it's going to drop at 1807, and therefore it's junk in this slot, right? You can infuse it into something to raise another weapon up to that level using an upgrade module, which is this item right here, which I'm not going to get deep into that kind of stuff because I'm just trying to talk about power leveling in general. All right, but you will unfortunately have to get another drop and hope that it goes into another source. I say that it's grueling to reach exactly 1810 because once you reach like that 1809 where you're just trying to poke in each point, you could have like an 1810 on all your weapons, 1810 on 3 of your armor pieces, and then just your chest armor and your gauntlets, and you're slamming pinnacle drops over and over again for like multiple weeks at a time upwards to just get these last 2. So the reason why I say this is because for the average player, that is not worth doing. All right, it is not worth it to do the last 10 levels. And truth be told is that if you are a skilled player, you can do these activities. You can do this master raid, and you can do this Grandmaster Nightfall without being at the highest level. Me and another friend have taken other friends who are 40 levels under on these Grandmaster Nightfalls, and by instructing them carefully on how to handle the Grandmaster Nightfall, they were able to find success with minimal casualty. So you can do it. Just know that the whole point of power is to circumvent a small portion of the difficulty. So just like in any other game, why are you hunting for higher like armor? In this case, this is kind of, think of it like armor. This is your armor value. Like if you're a Diablo player, this is your armor. This is your kind of a damage resistance, and this helps to negate your armor level, and this helps to negate the enemies from just totally destroying you in certain areas. All right, so that's gonna be my talk on power. I know it was kind of all over the place with how I was talking about it. It was very unscripted. I'll try to make it at least seem decently scripted when I cut this into a video, but that's just a big cornerstone that I wanted to touch on today because it's very important, and it's one of the biggest crucial aspects to the game, and it's also something that can be hard to understand because Bungie does not tell you when you start this game a good. It doesn't tell you how to grind power. There's no evident like way aside from at a certain point you'll start seeing these sources open up, and then you're like, oh well, let's see what that does. So there you go. It's how to power grind in Destiny 2. Hope that helps. So, anyways, with that bit of rambling over, that was like 30 minutes of ranting, I think, but I think that'll suffice. I don't think I want to go any. I don't think I want to rant anymore about any systems of the game today. I'll probably do like at least not for right now. I'll do it later. I think for this next one, I need to actually get a script to get a note card to keep me on track for the next one. So I'll do that later, and then I'll go live again, and I'll do a bit on it. To the one person who's possibly looking at this VOD being like, wow, this guy's a blabbering idiot, I want you to know that I appreciate you for at least trying to check out any trash content I'm about to throw out there, and just know that I'm working on it and your feedback is greatly appreciated. Alright, so I think without further ado, I think I might just end it here. It was short. This is not what I originally planned to do. I planned on actually streaming for a few hours, but some things have come up that I need to take care of, and so I am going to have to hit the offline. I will be back later. Until then, I look forward to if any of you come into my chat on the next stream or on any stream after you watch this. I can't promise regular streaming. I might drop this after just 2 days, because I will admit my consistency is weak with doing social media posts and stuff. But this has been quite a passionate topic for me that's been brewing, so I hope I can go longer than 2 days of doing this, as long as I can find the time and capability to. So thank you to anybody who's checking in, and I look forward to hearing from you again soon.